Discussions for sustainable living. So, what is your understanding of sustainable living, really, as a context?
Okay, it's a big drive at the moment in trying to find ways to live where we reduce our impact on the environment as people. So if we can live more sympathetically with the planet and plastics and things like that, but also increase the life of products that we use.
Okay, so secondly, what is your knowledge or latest thinking do you know about on sustainable living?
Okay, well, I know there's a big push at the moment in terms of thinking of the products that we currently use, in terms of finding better ways, housing, the materials that houses are built with, how they're built to try and reduce the carbon footprint with how they're built, but also the materials that go into making houses. Kind of researching and trying to live more sustainably within a home, with the power that we use. Can the design of the building be improved to take on natural light, to use less energy, to recycle, within the home as well. But also, our clothes and the way they're produced and the lifespan of them, so that we're not a wasteful society. And also the products that we use in our home, reducing the packaging, recycling the packaging that we no longer have use for.
Okay, so what experiences have you had on sustainable living?
So I know in terms of house building, obviously there's different ways now that you can build homes, and maybe you can either come off grid and so not use standard electricity and power supplies. You can use solar panels to produce your own, but also we've looked into building houses with more sustainable products in the actual build, but also how the actual daily living in the home, how you can use more sustainable things such as in-ground heat source pumps, and houses with a really clever design to take in sunlight to use to heat the house instead of using heating, and also using wind to actually condition the home. But also in terms of products, I know there's a big push on grocery shopping at the moment, and there's a pilot scheme of Tesco at the moment that are trying to reduce packaging, where they offer they've got a pilot store running in terms of reducing their plastic packaging around apples and their potatoes and things like that. So it's a plastic-free aisle within stores. But also there are designers that are trying to develop things like washing powders, where the pods are perforated and together, that gets ripped off and put in the wash, instead of it actually needing to be in a box or a plastic Ziploc bag. And even the print ink on the pods is kind of soluble ink, so it doesn't harm the environment. And then the other thing that I've come across is in kind of developing countries, there's trying to find plastic bags that are genuinely eco-friendly. And there's a company that has created a plastic bag that it's supposedly so eco-friendly that you can eat it, because it's made out of a vegetable root. And so, if the bag does get left in the environment, it dissolves in water, and so if animals eat it, it doesn't actually cause them any harm. They say it's so safe that humans can even swallow it, and they're looking into using that in things like tea bags or sachets of products and things like that.
Leading on to your experiences of packaging, what would you say is your ideas of current packaging and how it can be changed?
Okay, well, I think there are so many things in the world that are over-packaged, and it's to do with legislation and things like that, in the sense that for transporting goods, like children's toys and stuff, they have to have these clasps holding certain things in so that they're safe to transport. And the same with our vegetables and things like that. They're all packaged in plastic bags and weighed out to protect, the packaging is often there to protect them getting bruised and things like that. But I just think it could be reduced heavily. So much of the stuff is often over packaged, and I think that could be improved a lot.
Okay, so finally, what impacts of pollution should I factor in when coming up with an idea for my design?
Okay, so pollution, well, there's obviously, pollution starts with actually sourcing the materials needed to come up with your design, because if they're not local, you're polluting the atmosphere going and getting the products if they're further afield. But then there's the actual manufacturing process as well of the products. So I just think when you're considering pollution, it's far wider than just the end product and it's reached the end of its life and that's it. You've also got to think about the manufacturing process. So for example, in some stores, they're saying that instead of using plastic bags, you can put your apples and stuff in paper bags. But in actual fact, research has shown that the paper bag has to be used 4 times for it to be more sustainable and more eco-friendly than the production of the plastic bag, because that can often be reused more. So it's not as simple as, we'll move away from plastic and we'll go to paper, because that actually doesn't work. The research out there has shown that those paper bags, that one-time use, which you can often only put your vegetables or whatever in, that one-time use, then actually the process that it's gone through in the manufacturing process of producing that paper bag, and then the end of use where it's then recycled, it's got to be collected from your home, recycled through a recycling plant. All of that adds to that pollution. So sometimes you think making a simple switch from a plastic bag to a paper bag actually doesn't always make it more eco-friendly, or it doesn't always make it more sustainable. So yeah, it's the gain in the products, but it's also factoring in the process and what energy that uses and what materials that uses to actually produce the product that you're trying to create more sustainable.
Okay, thank you.